What's going on to all of my Libras? So let's get into this. Hold on a second. Let's get into this. All right. Here we go. Okay. So for the Libras, we have the Ten of Cups. By the way, this is for the yearly overview for 2023. So we have the Ten of Cups, the King of Cups, the Empress, the Hanged Man. Okay. Wheel of Fortune, Six of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and last but not least, we have the Queen of Wands. So this is a situation for you Libras. A year of relationships. That's the first thing that came to my mind. A year of relationships. The Ten of Cups, the King of Cups. Well, Ten of Cups, letting go of relationships that don't work. 10 plus 1 is 11. Once you start transitioning from the 10 to higher than that, then you get into royalty when it comes to the suit, whether it's cups, wands, pentacles, and swords. So this represents that transition, moving from having to let go, is New York, but having to let go of a lot of people um, in order to make yourselves better. You're willing to do it because you do have people who are trying to get in touch with you, trying to get to know you, right? Trying to ultimately build relationships with you, romantic relationships on top of that. This is why it is that you get the King of Wands, King of Cups. And so the Empress is you. The Empress is Libra. The Justice is Libra. So you did obviously show up in your own reading. That's amazing. Um, that's amazing. So this is about your own relationships that you're going to have to build. So you Libras finally get a chance to actually pick what type of relationships you want, right? So maybe you may have family, maybe you may not, maybe, you know, you're not in any kind of communication with your family. Either way it goes, it's irrelevant because you'll get a chance to actually start your own. And this is something that a lot of Libras want. Libras want to be able to start their own families, be the progenitors or the parent of their own families, right? Whether it's physically, right, biologically, or whether it's kind of having that high regard in a group of people where people look up to you to guide them. Um, and like I said before, you'll have that opportunity. Now to move forward, the Hanged Man. Now I will say this though, the hangman does represent how you need to be very careful at how people try to scapegoat you, right? They will try to scapegoat the freak out of you. They'll try to make it seem like you were the one that was bad, you were the one that was this, you was the one that was that. Those people are the same types of people, going back to the Ten of Cups, that you're going to have to learn to essentially learn to walk away from. Because those people are wasting your time. And just as I said before, how important the concept of time is, the idea that we have one chance. And yeah, a lot of us have reincarnated and stuff like this. However, you still want to make it count anyway. And the Hanged Man represents Pisces. Pisces is a higher octave of Libra, whether it is that y'all knew it or not. But Pisces is a higher octave of Libra. Libra is um, ruled by Venus. Neptune is a higher form of Venus. That's why Venus in Pisces is is an exaltation. It's because you're taking the lower octave of the planet and pairing it with the higher octave of the zodiac sign. and you're getting a match. Now, um, so this represents how a lot of you Libras need to understand that what you've got going on also is, don't let people scapegoat you. Don't let people put you in a box and tell you about yourself, right? So-called friends, so-called romantic interests, and they tried to tell you and convince you that, oh, you need to be about this and you need to be about that, and shame on you Libras because you Libras are the worst people in the world, and y'all are the ones that created all the world's problems. All that type of scapegoating nonsense that they're trying to make it seem like you are doing. The hangman also represents a need for you to accept that form of accountability. And what I would suggest for you to do is to not do that. Because when you put yourself in a position to be scapegoated, you will be scapegoated. Trust me, you will be blamed for other people's problems, and you may not even have anything to do with it. So the hanged man also represents the clip-off. Yes. Go pick up my book, Clip-Offic Magic for the Brave, if you're brave. And because it represents the clip-off, it represents the hanging off of the cliff, as you see here. It represents the cliff represents the abyss. So it represents having to understand, right? Having to understand that what you've got going on is, you've got to essentially allow, first and foremost, you've got to allow the things in your life that are not working out to be let go of. You're using, see, the situation with air signs is, you're trying to use too much logic, way too much. And what I mean by that is, you're trying to reason and talk with and trying to make it seem like these people should do so much better with their lives, and that you see a higher form of potential with them and they should be actualizing their potential. But you have to take into consideration, though, Libra, that these people are messed up. So the lights are on and there's no one home. So as a result of this, you're the one who's partially out there if you keep trying to talk to these people. It comes a point where you have to learn to let go, and that's when the storm, so to speak, subsides. It's when you understand, it's when you begin to understand that you can't talk to everybody. You can't interact with everybody. You can't, because what you'll have is that you'll have this constant rainstorm of, how can I communicate with people, and how can I get myself out of these terrible events that keep happening to me. Part of it is to allow those terrible events to actually be what they are, and then actually face them and deal with them accordingly. And that this shows that a lot of you Libras may not be getting it yet. A lot of you Libras may be trying to overthink and think past and think through. It's not going to work. So how do you make it work? You let go. And once you let go and you learn that it's okay where certain people don't necessarily want to be in a relationship with you. It's okay, that you've gotten played in the past. We've all gotten played. Manipulation works on the best manipulators in the world. All of us gets played. All of us. But what makes it more difficult is the acceptance that anyone can be manipulated, and the understanding and the vigilance of manipulation and ulterior motives. That's what make you more difficult to manipulate. So then you have the high priestess. The high priestess, excuse me, not the high priestess, wheel of fortune, excuse me. The wheel of fortune represents the breaking of that wheel, the breaking of the wheel of karma, of terrible relationship after terrible relationship after not getting what you want. You break the wheel, you break the cycle of karma. You break the cycle of going back and forth. See, karma doesn't exist, but then it does to a certain extent to people who don't learn their lessons. So the Wheel of Fortune represents you have to learn to get out of your own way. Okay. I know a lot of Libras ain't gonna like this because Libra is, for some odd reason, a zodiac sign where I don't get a whole lot of views and get a whole lot of views when it comes to every other zodiac sign, not with Libra, for whatever reason. But the Wheel of Fortune is that once you've decided to actually understand that you've been making certain mistakes when it comes to people trying to communicate, trying to do all this stuff, you know what I mean? Teach these people that they need to change their mindset. You're trying to be too much of a light magician. You're trying to ice skate uphill, you know what I'm saying, on a real icy day. It's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's gonna be that task is gonna be very, 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 very difficult. And the best way for you to learn to allow this stuff to actually go in your favor is to let it subside. Some people are not capable of being with you, Libras. Some people are not going to be able to of some people are not going to be able to understand that, sometimes you go out of your way to really make somebody happy. You think about them a lot. You utilize your ideas to your advantages. Some people are not going to be, some people you can't share certain um are the finer things in life with. Some people you have to learn to, they want to be ghetto, they want to be hood. This is the situation, regardless of whether they come from the quote unquote hood or whether they come from the suburbs. Because people who have that type of hood mentality is everywhere. So when I say hood, I'm not talking about a particular setting to be biased or any of that type of stuff. I'm talking about people with a particular mindset who take up action and who do this type of stuff. So they have the mindset and the application of this. The Six of Wands now represents once you can learn to break those cycles of going through that situation over and over and over again, what you'll have is finally you're actually able to get out of that and get yourself into a new cycle. And the Nine of Pentacles represents that new cycle, that ability to make your life what you want financially, emotion wise, physical tangibility, being able to physically manifest the things that you want, the finer things in life, like you Libras like. The money will be coming along again, right? But you have to get over these, but you have to get over these terrible relationship dynamics that you're in. Stop trying to make things work with people who don't want that or continue to do it and continue to keep. Oh, I'm thing that that's the thing that air signs don't understand. Your intellectualism is bad. Intellectualism is not the answer because there's a piece beyond intellectualism. You know what that piece is called? It's called the abyss. What happens when your intellectualism can bring you no further, and you don't necessarily have the answer to something and you have to figure it out, but there's no more logical ground for you to walk on. What do you do past that? This is where mysticism, and this is where creative thinking, and this is where the occult comes in and bravery comes into place. That's why I named my book Clipothic Magic for the Brave. It's because you have to be brave to do what? You have to be brave to engage in these type of darker forces, to understand that you will lose friends. You will lose family members. Not them necessarily per se making the transition, if you catch my drift, but losing them in the sense that because you will see their own closed-minded mentality and their actions and their own willingness to be about absolute dysfunction, and it will make you sick to your stomach and you will want to stop hanging out with these people if you are very serious. And that being ripped away from these people, it will not bring you immediate comfort. But on the other side of that, then you have the Ten of Swords, and then you have the Queen of Wands. So the Ten of Swords and the Queen of Wands is about you making another transition, which is trying to give up so much intelligence, trying to stop trying to be the most intelligent one in the room, which is a good thing. Because even as a Virgo myself, all of this intelligence, I don't even use all of this intelligence. There's a point past my intelligence where I engage in, because I understand, yeah, as far as studies is concerned, all of that scientific research and all that stuff, and me dropping these links and dropping the evidence, all of that stuff comes from all of that stuff comes from it not being manifested, and then it has to be pulled down from not being manifested, which is a lack of logic, to being manifested, which is logic, what we see, what, you know what I mean, what we can actually see and touch and smell, and what we can actually materialize. So then the thing is that the Queen of Wands now represents here, or you can either lay down the intellectualism, or you can, right, or I should say the over consumption of intellectualism in your relationships and overthinking it. Or you can continue to, these are your options, you can continue to do it, which will make your situation even worse. It's up to you. I'm just a messenger. So let's clarify the Ten of Swords. Matter of fact, let's clarify the Queen of Wands. So you wanted to know what's going on for 2023. It's the same exact thing that I've been suggesting to y'all for a couple of months. Let go of the ego. You need to understand that you don't know everything. None of us do, myself included. But the over intellectualism of anything is the problem. The over spiritification or spiritualification of anything is not necessarily a good thing. If it's too spiritual, it's mumbo jumbo. If it's too logically based and physically manifested, then it becomes nihilistic, which is the same as mumbo jumbo. It's futile, it's vain, it's a waste of time and attention, because there is nothing to have been learned from it. There's no enlightenment to have gained from either, or is what I'm trying to say. So to clarify the Queen of Wands, we have the Moon, the Six of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, right? Like you see Will Smith trying to keep the wife and stuff like this, and it's like, come on now, Will Smith, gotta learn to let go. You're trying to gain this control because you love this person, but at the same time, this person keeps telling you they don't want you. At what point do you go, even if it, because it's going to make it worse if I keep holding on? Will Smith doesn't want to let go. Okay, you don't have to let go, because Will Smith is a Libra. You don't have to let go if you don't want to, but then don't be surprised when things happen to you. Don't be surprised if, you know, you start to get resentment coming your way because you won't let go. Same thing. And then then you have, to clarify the Queen of Wands, you have the Moon. There needs to be a lot of more introspection, because sometimes Libras will think that they have a lot of things figured out, and they won't necessarily let someone in, as far as get a word in edgewise. And this is more about not you speaking to other people. This is more about what your inner says, your own inner verse. What exactly does that happen? What's going on internally with you, that these voices, so to speak, is saying to you. And then the Six of Cups is, yes, you will have people who decide to come back. Like I said, love is all wrapped up in this. But at the same time, these will be people from the past. So the question is, after that, not if, when they come back, will you decide to still excommunicate them? Because these are people who you see don't have their characters developed. These are individuals who essentially are still on the same stuff, where they're still up to ulterior motives, will you accept them back? The Ten of Pentacles, will you let them go? The Ten of Cups, will you learn to let go of this and actually get to a higher level? Or will you continue to try to overthink everything? Oh, even in this video, and I gotta challenge y'all, even in this video, I'm trying to be spiteful. I'm working with some sort of ulterior motive. Booger, 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 all that type of stuff. So it's up to you. I'm not here to change the game. It's up to you. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get this YouTube channel to 3,500 subscribers by the end of January. As of right now, we're at 3,436 subscribers, 64 subscribers left. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop these videos. Peace.